Good morning, brothers.
Good morning.
Chapter 9 from our Constitutions. The brothers' apostolic life. In whatever capacity they are dedicated to the apostolate, let the brothers remember that they cannot pursue their mission unless they are continually renewed in faithfulness to their own vocation, not making their ministry their own, that it might be clear that it is Jesus Christ alone they seek. Let them preserve that unity of the fraternity which Christ wished to be so perfect that the world will know the Son was sent by the Father. On October 5th, our Bishop, Brother Bill Fane from Papua New Guinea, was commissioned for unity by Pope Francis in Rome in a special gathering of the Anglican and Catholic bishops to mark the 50th anniversary of the Catholic and Anglican dialogue. Pope Francis told them, 14 centuries ago, Pope Gregory sent the servant of God, Augustine, first Archbishop of Canterbury, and his companions to preach the joyful message of the gospel. He says, "Today I send you, dear brothers, servants of God, with the same joyful message of his everlasting kingdom." Our fraternal unity mirrors the profound intimacy that Christ longs for his church. Brothers, this theme of unity is an important theme, especially after the divisions that we have seen after the presidential elections. No matter what party you voted for, we cannot deny how much division is present now in our country. People, thousands of people, protesters around the states with different ideologies, with signs of LGBT rights and my body, my right, and all different ideologies putting this spirit of division. The wisdom of our Capuchin Constitutions have a prophetic voice for these signs of the times. One reads, as I adjusted this for us here, "Let the brothers in Capuchin College preserve that unity of the fraternity which Christ wished to be so perfect that the world will know the Son was sent by the Father." This piece of the Constitutions is taken from the Gospel of John, when Jesus says, "I in them and you in me, that they might be perfected in unity, so that the world may know that you sent me and love them, even as you have loved me." We also see this great sense of unity in the life of Elizabeth of Hungary. She was so close to the poor that after her husband died, she wanted to be in that unity with Christ and his church. She dedicated her life, her whole apostolic life, to serve the poor by taking a vow of poverty. I know we can give many noticeable and unnoticeable examples how we as Capuchin College live this as a fraternity. For example, when we serve the young adults at Capuchin Cafe in different ministries, in confession or music and in baking, or when we give food to our brothers and sisters in the streets with the missionaries of charity. Many people notice this, and they have told us what a great testimony our fraternity is for this world. But also here in our house, we need to recognize the unnoticeable things, the things that nobody sees and nobody recognizes, perhaps, but still they bring us together as one family. For example, when Emmett bakes his delicious breads every weekend, perhaps nobody noticed it, or when Paul makes us breakfast, I noticed that as quickly as food is put on the table, we all come together as one fraternity. Just as when we announce that pizza is going to be around, I think all of us come together quickly, and this is so Capuchin of us to do as one family. However, we cannot deny that we need to help each other to keep our fraternity united. And we cannot do this by our own merely efforts. We need God. And this is really why we come over and over and over again to this chapel. This is really the reason why I believe our constitutions are calling us today to do a sort of an oil change in our own spiritual journeys today and renew our faithfulness to communal prayer. I'm not talking about our individual prayer, but also we have to think as prayer as one family. You know, I was thinking if only God could have the same attentions that if we can only get the same attention and response from God at the same way as we get attention and respond when we use our phones and we quickly contact somebody, we'll be able, or send a text message, we'll be able to avoid all our spiritual dryness and our spiritual darkness. Because if only God will use Facebook or iPhone, or at least He will have an email once in a while, we'll be able to control our Capuchin vocation. Obviously, this cannot happen. So the fact that we come to common meditation and to pray the office over and over again, even when we are failing to sleep like me many times, but the fact that our Capuchin life calls us to show up in one family, this is a reminder that Jesus did not choose us because of our talents, because of our own hard-working skills, or because we have been successful in our life. But this is a reminder that it is He who longs to have intimacy with us. This is why we are called to renew our vows every Sunday, so that we remember that we do not possess our ministries, we do not possess our own relationships, and we do not possess our own successes. All belongs to Him. So the question is, why should we strive for this fraternal unity? A Christological dimension is that the wounded Christ has already taken the first step at the cross. He died for us precisely to be united with us in the Eucharist. It is now up to us to ask Him for the grace, for the fraternal unity here at Capuchin College. Second, our common life in the ordinary also brings us closer as brothers. Whether you are extrovert or introvert, you know if you are a Capuchin that no one can escape from this. I cannot even count how many times I have found the best fraternal moments by doing the most simple and probably the most stupid things here as fraternity. Either if we are cleaning outside the snow while throwing snowballs to each other, or helping to clean up a mess that we didn't even do, it's always consoling to keep in mind that everything we do for the common life, as ordinary as it can be, we are building up this fraternal unity. We also come to face some challenges that can harm our fraternity, and we need to be aware of them. Pope Francis talks how gossiping creates division. I'm not talking about gossiping among what is going on in between the life of Donald Trump and Hillary, which seems that everybody is so interested about it. I'm talking about putting a brother here in the house against another brother. It seems hard for us to think it's not me, but if we really see close to what our comments are during the day, or what we say to one another, in a special when we are talking to one another, we might be able to see deeper what gossiping can do in our fraternity. Here I like to turn to the wisdom of Pope Francis. He says, it is like terrorism, the war of worshipping in the community, the language that kills, and the division in the church do not allow the kingdom of God to grow. They do not allow the Lord to be seen as He is. Divisions make you see this part, this one against the other, always against. I ask you to do everything possible not to destroy the church with divisions. They are ideological. They come from greed and ambition. They come from jealousy. So my prayer for us today is this. May the Lord grant us the grace to accept this fraternal unity so that we may truly mirror the intimacy that Christ longs for His church.